Hello, my name is Malachi Klassen. I'm 18 years old and I'm getting baptized. This is my story. This is my testimony. My parents are George and Eddie Klassen, and I was born into this church technically in 2006. My parents left the church due to a conflict at the time. Since then, for about 14 years, we did a lot of church shopping, and I never really found one with my family that we were able to stay at for very long. There were a few. There was GFC and EMMC that we had stayed at for long enough for me to consider myself to be part of, but never really felt same sense of community where we could really have stuck to that church until we came to MSCC. My friends had invited me to youth the one day. I remember when I still had all my social media, they were sending pictures to the group chats, and they were sending photos of themselves back and forth, and I kept wondering, what were they doing? Why were they always together? So I asked them, and they said to come over to MSCC for the youth. So I joined them, mostly because I have a little bit of fear of missing out. I've been told now that it's called FOMO. That's a new thing I learned. When I had first come to this church, I had no idea that this would be the one that God would put roots into me, or put my roots into the church, where I could grow with the people around me, find a good place to not only spend my time, but to invest my time into the church, where I was able to volunteer, find new opportunities, make good connections with people that I've never been able to before, and have amazing pastors that have shown me more than any other pastors I've ever had the honor of going to a church with. I remember when I first went to youth, I was very outgoing, but I was also very socially awkward. But I have a feeling when my friends told Trevor that I'd be going, his response was something like, "Nice," or "Yeah, man, that'd be awesome if he came." Very vivid memories of many times he had done that to me when I told him I was inviting someone, so I like to imagine it was the exact same for me. Only a year after I'd first walked in through the doors, I got invited to sign up to go to Chicago for a missions trip with the youth. And honestly, the only reason, not the only reason, but one of the reasons that I went was because some of my friends were, and I was looking to mostly just get out. I'd honestly never left Ontario before at that point, and so I also thought it would be a cool new experience. But little did I know that during that time, I would have so many cool speakings or moments that wouldn't mean much to me at the time because I was never much familiar with God's word and still struggled to hear it properly, but later realized that there was many things he told me about that would later resurface, and some are still resurfacing now. I remember one, Patrick had sat me aside and told me to think of just something that God was saying to me, and so I came up with 3 words. Those words were love, laugh, and work. I didn't think of it much, but about a year later, it started to resurface in my mind, and I realized that it was God trying to tell me not only how to live my life, but in the order I was to live it in. And I think the big reason I was realizing that at the time was I was coming out of a job where I was spending so much of my time just working because I'd just come out of a long period of unemployment. And so I didn't care how much I was working, sometimes going in Saturdays and Sundays, and frankly taking away time from my friends and my family, and taking away time from the volunteer experience I was getting at church, which I just started to really enjoy. So yeah, that's when it started to resurface. And it was just after I had sort of left the job that it really started to stick with me that I was to live my life in that order of love, laugh, and then work, and not the other way around, which I'd really struggled for a long time with, trying to find the way to put others before my desire to work, I suppose. I'm really grateful for all that God has given me through this time here at this church, all the people He's given me. Even in Chicago, He gave me so much more connections with my pastors. He's gifted me deliverance. He's gifted me speakings. And one more time from Chicago, actually. I'm going to go back to that. There was a man that had shown up just as we had shown up to the church that we would be staying at. A man came and he was speaking to us, or sort of pulled up into the driveway, and then he spoke to us saying that he saw God's presence in us and was asking to pray over us. So he did. He prayed over the group. And after a lot of hounding with Albert, we found out that it was not planned, and it was actually just some guy that had just pulled up, started praying over us. And although it was not planned, Albert did have some things to say about it. He had tried to make us really think about it, that if you were to drive by and see this group of people in a church parking lot, would you go over there and pray? I don't think it was a challenge that he was sending to us. It was a question of, what did we believe that was? The reason he was asking the question was he was trying to get us to think, why did God send that man? Because we all answered that we probably wouldn't have. So it really makes you question and think why God would send someone for us and what he had planned. God has always given me amazing gifts in life. Maybe not a gift in the sense that you would give someone on a Christmas where it would all of a sudden appear and it would be so amazing just as a gift he would hand to you, but something I was born with, or I was given from the beginning, a gift that would help me through my life from start to finish. He's given me the gift of two amazing parents. They have always shown love, not only for each other, but for me and my siblings as well. And a gift that I have seen so many times get either taken away or not be given to someone. Through those secondhand experiences, I have seen how important it is to have that, and I am so thankful for it every day. I'm thankful for the sound mind he has gifted me, as even in my lowest points of life, I've never had to struggle with depression or severe anxiety or anything of the sort. I am so thankful I haven't had to struggle through any of those things. I believe God has given me this gift so that I may be the backbone for those to fall onto when needed. And such an amazing gift he has given me. The last gift I wanted to mention was all the deliverances he's given me. The main deliverances he's given to me are from my biggest sin, which it's technically two, but I connect them because I believe they're very closely related. It was materialism and my legalism. Legalism was, for me, sort of, when I was giving my 10% to the church, I would just do it so that I could tell myself I can do whatever I wanted with the rest. It was doing things at the church because I believed I had to, and not because I wanted to, or because I believed that it was something that I really, again, wanted to do, I suppose. And God has gifted that to me. He's delivered me from that. I no longer strive to do things for the church just because I believe I have to, because it was a gift he gave me, but because it's something that I want to do, something I love doing. The biggest one, so legalism was a fair part of it, but my biggest sin I had for the longest time was materialism. Pretty much all of my thoughts were focused off of my material possessions, my money. I was lucky that I didn't necessarily ruin any relationships with it, but relationships that I could have had stronger earlier in life if I didn't focus more on money than the people around me. And I can't exactly say when or how, but about in grade 12 was when I finally started to realize that everything here on earth would be left behind, and that I started to need to focus on not what I had, but what I could give to those around me, and I guess to myself as well. God has been so gracious to me with I guess I said before, my final gift was deliverance, but one more I'm going to say would be my friends. Without them, I wouldn't have had many of the conversations I've had today about our faith, about our struggles in life, how far we've all come. I'd name them all off, but there's a lot of people I know. But I'd say I want to thank personally Josh, Dawson, and Devin. For the long time, you were my closest friends. Lucas, I want to thank you for all the amazing conversations we've had about our faith. I want to thank Clark. You've always shown compassion towards those around you. My name is Malachi Klassen. This is my story. This is my testimony.